Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to be talking about age and how it factors into undergraduate membership. This is a common question that I get. Reason being is because lately I've been getting a lot of people inquiring about their age, and it doesn't matter what their age is when they're interested in pursuing undergraduate membership. Some of you may be wondering why this is a topic of discussion. Typically because we are seeing a change in the type of people that are pursuing undergraduate membership based on higher education. So to become a member of an organization, you basically have two types of membership, unless you're talking about Sigma Gamma Rho. Typically two types of membership: undergraduate membership and graduate membership. Undergraduate membership is for those who are in pursuit of a four-year degree. Graduate membership is for those who've already obtained a four-year degree. So what we are noticing now in higher education is a gradual increase of people that are going back to school to obtain their four-year degree. Well, when you're interested in joining an organization, if you have not yet obtained your four-year degree, your undergraduate membership process is going to be the process that you would pursue. And a lot of people that are going back to school now are now considered non-traditional college students. The reason why I say they're non-traditional is because they're not the typical age to where they would pursue college. The typical age of college, and it has changed over the years, so don't get me wrong, but typical age has typically been between the ages of 17 to probably mid-20s, depending on who you are. Now we're seeing people go back to college where they are past their 20s, going back to obtain their degrees, but also wanting to join an organization, but the rules still apply. So where age may not be a factor in terms of your membership for undergrad, it is a factor when you're looking at the group that you will now be interacting with. So let's talk about it. So my experience in being in membership or going through the membership process, my personal story, I joined Sigma Gamma Rho, my organization, when I was a sophomore, but my organization will accept as early as second semester freshmen. So what we're seeing now in higher ed as far as people that are interested in joining an organization is they can be any of these classifications, whether it's a freshman or a senior, but some of them have different ages. We have people who are coming in their late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, and they're obtaining their degrees, but they're still considered a freshman as far as classification, or a sophomore or a junior, depending on what they have going on. So a common misconception is, does my age matter when I want to pursue membership in an undergraduate process? And the answer is no. When you're in your mid 20s and things like that, if you're beyond the average age, it is not a contributing factor. But what you're going to want to pay attention to is the group, the people that you're now going to be interacting with, because you're still dealing with undergrads who are still in that traditional age range. So you may be someone that's 34 wanting to pursue membership in undergrad. You're going to be applying with 18, 19, and 20-year-olds, more or less. So that's just something to take into consideration when you are expressing interest in joining an organization. If you are a little bit older, you are dealing with not only a different generation, but also a different mindset. So just keep that in mind for those who are interested. Altogether, age does not matter. It is when you are an undergrad, you have to be in pursuit of a four-year degree in order to be considered eligible, on top of all the other application requirements. Now, if you've met those requirements, it's now going to become, am I now going to fit in? Like, is this a good fit considering what you bring to the table versus what you're now going to be interacting with? So something that I can honestly say that is now a recurring thing in the undergraduate membership process is undergraduate membership is very diverse. One thing I can say about the organizations that are accepting people is it's very diverse, like I said, in terms of things like background, socioeconomic status, age ranges. Like, you can look at these organizations, what's it called? I'm forgetting my words, but you can look at the organization's discrimination policy, for lack of a better term, and see that all organizations follow the same set of rules in terms of they do not discriminate against things such as your age, your background, things like that. So if that is a concern of yours, definitely look into that, but they can't be exclusive in that sense. So your age shouldn't be something that bothers you. What I would say though is, if you are outside of that traditional age range of joining an organization, find out what you think you can handle in terms of dealing with different generations is definitely a thing to consider. And then also keep in mind that despite your age, you're still going to be treated the same in terms of your process. So, and when we're saying process, I'm talking about the actual legalized intake process in itself. So there are no exceptions in terms of the meetings or the days or the activities that they have you do as far as your membership process is concerned. You're going to be treated exactly the same way. So where you may have the younger people, I don't want to say younger people, how do I want to put this? You may have the traditional age interest who have the time to have meetings after like 5 p.m. and things like that. Whereas you may have a family, you may have other responsibilities. You're still going to be held to the same standard and the same responsibilities as everyone else in your group. So keep in mind that that's also something that you're going to have to make sure that you are aware of, and that you're openly communicating of any limitations that you may have due to you having a different lifestyle than your counterparts that are also expressing interest. Another thing to also be mindful of is once you become a member, you're also still going to be treated as a neophyte. You're still going to be treated as a neo, a newly introduced person to the organization. So your responsibilities are still going to be the same. The expectations are still going to be the same for you. So just make sure that you are aware of those things in addition to that. And also be mindful of the advantages that you have to bring to the table as someone that is a little more seasoned joining an organization. You have different life experiences that you can bring to the table that could, you know, not purposely, but force your counterparts to also grow up if you're a little more mature, or maybe they'll teach you to kind of let loose a little more if that's something you're not used to. So just being mindful of the different experiences that both parties have to share now that you are in this intake process together, and just being aware that there are other perspectives and other experiences that both sides will need to consider if that's something that you're interested in doing. Now, there are some other videos on my channel that talks about age, and I have some older knowledge of what that will look like for those of you who are potentially interested in joining, that I'll also link in this video below for you guys. But those are just the common things that come to my mind as far as people that are interested in joining an organization and they may be considered a different age group. Long story short, it is not discriminatory in terms of your age, but you also have to be mindful of these other contributions, these other factors when it comes to joining an organization, and things that you have to make sure that you're comfortable with doing before you pursue membership. If any of you have experienced this before, please put it in the comments below. If you have any specific questions, you're always more than welcome to message me. If you ever need any clarity, you can also check out my services on KelsTells.com/services. We have clarity calls on there. We have mock interviews, all the things. I think I recently put up templates as well. So if you need templates on letters or anything like that, you can check that out on my channel too. But I hope that you guys found this video helpful. I hope that you are subscribed, and I'll see you guys next time.